And welcome to Monday Night Lavatory. I keep saying I'm going to say it right. I never have gotten it the first try. Welcome to Toilets to Titles on a Monday night. I'm your host, Jason. With me, below me is Coach.
What's happening?
Coach. Above me is my brother from another mother. It's George. George Reed FF. Welcome to another Mock Monday Lavatory. I got it right that time. And we are going to be doing 3 mock drafts as we go. George is glitching out, but that's cool. That's his Wi-Fi. We're going to be doing 3 mock drafts. The coach, George, and I, we're going to talk about your drafts. We got some of the great Toilets to Titles team in the mock drafts, drafting alongside of you guys. Guys, if you want to check us out, you can do our Patreon. I'm going to do that first. We got to pay the bills. You can do our patreon.com/toilets to titles. Hit us up. We've got all kinds of cool stuff. You can join the Discord. Coach, what else we got? If you hit the $20 a month range, you can get into the Frankenstein League for free next year.
What else you don't have to do that at $20. So it's $3 just to get in the Discord chat. $5 gets you in the Discord chat and also gets you our weekly waiver wire episodes that we as a team, we have a doc we compile like throughout the week. From Monday night to Sunday, we're compiling a list of players we feel you should pick up next week. We get that recorded Monday night. We get that out specifically only to our Patreon members. After that, Tier 3 gets you into Frankenstein. Tier 4 gets you into Frankenstein for free. Tier 5, which is $20, we will break down one of your leagues live on air. We'll do an episode dedicated to your fantasy league. So all that helps support the show. So we appreciate it.
And so on top of Patreon, like Coach was talking about, we have an amazing team here. Go check out our articles, toiletstitles.com. Go check out the articles. We've got shows just about every night of the week for you guys. We've got Sunday Night Roundtable to talk about all the goings on for the week. We've got this show Monday night, main show on Tuesday night. If you go to toiletstitle.com or look up Toilets Title on YouTube, go to Toilets Titles on any of the places you get your podcast. So many shows, so much information, a great group of guys giving you all the information you'll ever need for fantasy football. You guys are going to do way better if you listen to us compared to, I don't know, any of the other shows you might find out there. I won't throw anybody under the bus, but that way I don't want any flame wars. And now Joe is back. Joe had to go. Joe had to make a quick run.
I had to smoke a cigarette. It's okay.
I wasn't going to say it out loud, but you got it. All right, so guys,
it's my only vice.
Listen, when Joe was growing up, cigarettes were healthy.
That's true.
That's right. We used to eat them for breakfast.
Do you guys remember? I don't know how old you guys are, but do you guys remember the ashtrays in like the shopping carts?
No.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do remember that. Oh God.
Or like smoking and no smoking sections of restaurants.
I remember that.
And what I don't understand is they'd make you walk through the smoking section to get to the non-smoking section. I never understood that part.
Because they're trying to convert you.
They are.
Yeah. When I was a teen, they still the smoking section in the back of the plane, which is crazy.
Smoking. Let's smoke thousands of feet in the air.
Oh my
God. Whoa, we got our first wow of the night. Is this, listen, so tell us about these drafts, and I need to know right out the gate, is this super flex or is this single quarterback?
It's single quarterback. It is a single quarterback league. So Josh Allen going 2 in the 2-8 position is a little rich for my blood, but I get it. You start out with Derrick Henry. You think you can go get that quarterback. Go do it. The other thing I wanted to ask, Coach, Joe, both of you guys, I kind of want to know, what do you guys think about Travis Kelce in the back of the first? It's where he's going. What do you guys think of that strategy?
Personally, I avoid tight end. Like I waited all the way in one league I'm in. I think my tight end ended up being Pat Freiermuth. So, but the thing is, that's the cost. That's the going rate. It's worth that because the volume. He's going to get so much volume with Tyreek Hill gone. I know Patrick Mahomes he's got a little bit of rapport with Mecole Hardman. He's developing some with Sky Moore. They're using him in the backfield. They got Marquez Valdez-Scantling. So this other guy, Juju Smith-Schuster, looks like he's probably going to be the 2 this year. That being said, we know what Travis Kelce is, and so does Mahomes. And you're guaranteed, like 111, if you get him at the back end of the first round, that's you're at least hitting a double right there because he's getting the volume.
Hey guys, I'm sorry, real quick, I'll give you my thoughts on Kelsey, which tight end, which actually mirrors coach as well. Is it too late to get Chris's videos draft slot at all?
That'd be a question for George. He's running to see.
Yeah, my board's all full.
The way we fill these is first things first. We put them in our Discord chat for our Patreon members. So George, when he's getting ready to run these, he puts the link in our Discord Patreon chat. Guys from Patreon, get in there. After that, we post it on Twitter. But Chris, what we could do if you're on the Twitter, look for us on Monday night, or get in the Patreon, get in the Discord, and we'll send you the link on there. If not, we could try to email you. Just reach out to us before Mondays, and we'll try to get you into the next one. So this draft is going. So we're going strong here. We're 3 rounds in, and 3 quarterbacks are off the board. It's 1 quarterback, so I usually wait. I like a guy like Matthew Stafford, even Derek Carr, guys that you can get later on because I think the value elsewhere is pretty strong. It's nice to see Alvin Kamara bumping back up into the second rounds because a few weeks ago we thought suspension is definitely incoming. And then within the last week or so, they're saying now it might wait till next year. So Alvin Kamara is back where he belongs. He went, it's crazy. Nick Chubb and Aaron Jones went before Saquon Barkley and Alvin Kamara here. What do you guys think about that?
It's safer, right?
Yeah.
I think that's so I actually like Aaron Jones a lot this year with the subtraction of Devontae Adams. I like Aaron Jones to get a ton of wide receiver work. Now, A.J. Dillon's going to eat into the rushing work. He may eat.
I heard they're liking his hands, man. I heard from beat writers that they are liking A.J. Dillon's hands more and more.
Yeah, I still think it's going to be an Aaron Jones season, so I'm okay there. But I think what people are saying is Nick Chubb and Aaron Jones are safer than Kamara.
Floor is higher.
And Barkley. Now, especially now that we're hearing that Kamara is probably not going to get suspended till next year, I can see him moving past those guys because he really is one of the best running backs in the league when available. Yeah. So the only thing that dropped him down the board is the fact that he could be suspended.
Yeah, if Kamara's not suspended, I've got him ahead of Chubb and Aaron Jones just because he doesn't have the competition that the other two on there.
This guy who picked 6th, I'm loving his draft or girl. Justin Jefferson in the 1st, Alvin Kamara in the 2nd, and Kyle Pitts in the 3rd. Hand this dude the trophy. Hand it to him.
Well, so I was gonna say, I really like number 12 the way he started Diggs, who I could easily see as a top 5 wide receiver and top 3 if he comes back he gets some of the touchdowns he didn't get last year. Then you got Swift, who I think is going to be one of the stud running backs this year. Breece Hall, you're taking a flyer on in what could be a bad Jets offense, but he doesn't have a lot of competition there. And then Travis Etienne, who's wowing everybody at camp. Mm-hmm. That's not, if you're at the back end, that's not a bad start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If this was a 1 QB draft, which it is, I'm liking and this goes hand in hand also with the Kelsey tight end conversation back in the first round. I got to get myself some running backs. I have to. I feel like that's where, it's harder to find stud running backs. I feel like I do want to get myself a true wide receiver 1 as early as possible. But like I see Barkley over there, Rocky Dentist got Dalvin Cook and Saquon Barkley. Got Barkley in the 2nd round.
There's a team named Rocky Dentist.
Yeah.
And then is there Bullwinkle?
That's number 6.
That's the guy I like. All right, Rocky Dentist.
That was team number 6, as a matter of fact, Rocky Dentist. In team number 5, Bobby Skins got Eckler and Aaron Jones.
I can't see any of these things.
This is Lavatory. You know what? I'm looking at Lavatory 3. Should I add it?
Yes, please. So it looks like we lost George.
George quit. I came in too hot. We started talking about cigarettes. So he got a little frustrated, but we're adding. So we got Kyler now added to Pitts, Kamara, and Jefferson, still the leader in the table. I like how Eckler went 3rd overall, but I do think that Isaiah Spiller is going to cut into his touches. I don't see Eckler. Everyone's loving Eckler. I just don't see Eckler playing more than 14 games. I think that's just his MO.
Do you want me to pivot to, or I should say, Jason or George? Tell me when you'd like me When you
I'll
like
go
me to
ahead
pivot
and
to
I'll
my
go ahead and
screen?
switch screens here. We've talked about one a little bit.
Ooh,
We're gonna go over to number 3, and
See
we'll talk
Rocky?
about 3.
Okay,
And
now
I just
see.
added it up.
Now I'm liking Frito. Frito got Justin Jefferson at 4
And
Chubb on the snake.
Look at this. Look at this. Barkley and Kamara went ahead of Chubb and Jones in this one. That's funny. It's it's clusters.
I'd have to I'd have Aaron Jones and Chubb ahead of Barkley.
Listen to me. I have all 4 of those guys ahead of Joe Mixon.
Oh, so Sean says this is super flex, guys. George, is this super flex? You're the boss around here. Did George leave again?
George freaking left. If this is super flex, which would help if we knew. There wasn't a quarterback taken until the 3rd round,
so that's probably because they didn't know. So
I think this is one quarterback. I think that's what
it would say at the top, doesn't it? Or is it giving you that error up there?
It's giving me
an error.
Like,
all right, we're going to discuss this as if it's one quarterback because it looks like one quarterback. I'm seeing Leonard Fournette. This is the 2nd draft in a row. He won at the 10th selection of the 2nd round. I want nothing to do with Leonard Fournette. Absolutely nothing. But you're a Bucs fan, so sell me on him, Jason.
I don't know if I can sell you on him. I like him. I think he's going to end up with. Okay, let me sell you on him. His 3 interior offensive linemen are all brand, like the center and 2 guards are brand new.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady's going to have a lot of pressure in his face a lot sooner than we thought he might because of that. And that's where Leonard Fournette's going to take that little 5-yard dump off pass. Maybe
you
get
don't think
something
it's
out of it.
going to be Rashad White taking that dump off pass?
I don't. Tom Brady trusts Leonard Fournette.
Okay.
He was good in the receiving game last year.
I like Rashad White. I think he's going to be a good player. But Leonard Fournette is a Tom Brady guy. Like, Tom wants him there. Tom asked to pay the man. Like, I see 70-plus receptions for Leonard Fournette.
He did have a good year. I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but Fournette, Jason, correct me if I'm wrong, Fournette was used, I think, last year more often than any other year in his career in the receiving game.
Does he eat as a runner, though? Is he an off-tackle guy or in-between-the-tackle guy? I think he's an in-between-the-tackle guy, and that's where the offensive line is gutted.
Listen, he actually looked a lot better off-tackle than in the middle last year. That's probably because he was running behind somebody like Tristan Wirfs on the right side, and then
he's a dog.
And then Devontae Smith, who looked pretty good last year, even though I've spent a lot of my time getting really bad at not Devontae Smith. I
Chris
can't.
Godwin?
No, there's a Smith on the offensive line, and for the life of me, I can't remember his name. And I just said Devontae, but there's a Smith on that offensive line.
Is it Braden Smith?
No, hold on. This is gonna bug me.
Huh.
I know it's not Tyler Smith.
No, it is Donovan Smith. So I was only off by a couple letters there, guys.
True.
It is PPR, guys. It is PPR.
That's fine. PPR is fine as long as it's just not super flex.
So it's if George is down there, it'd be nice if he could jump on or message and let us know, so we can tell these guys what the parameters are. It is PPR for sure, Steve.
It's PPR. It's PPR one quarterback. So let it go. It's PPR one quarterback. That's the way they drafted. That's the way it looks. Let it roll.
Well, so I'm gonna say the first draft decided to not. This does not look like one quarterback.
Okay, that is super flex. The first draft caught on. Well, now look at that. I like that. Look at Josh Allen and Justin Herbert. You would never see that stacked.
No, you only find that. Okay, so Jessica Reed's in the green room. That's George. That's George's wife.
I'm in the green room. I'm in the white room with black curtains.
I've added George's wife.
Hey, and he's muted or she's muted.
My wife is ugly, but man, don't tell her I said that.
Oh shit.
Oh my god.
All right.
So my Wi-Fi obviously crapped out on the laptop, so I'm going from the phone right now. But it's actually easier for me on the phone because now I can jump back and forth in between the chats on all the drafts as well. So that's kind of nice.
But George, you had the third stream, so I don't have the third.
Man, how about this one roster? Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown, and DJ Moore.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 0. So this is exactly how you. I'm sorry, George, but this is exactly how you want to do 0 RB. If you're going to do 0 RB, you want to get as many of those top 15 guys as possible, and he's got 4 of them right there.
DJ Moore, like, man, we're hearing a lot coming out of Panthers camp, and we hear a lot about Panthers camp because Jared Gray loves him some Baker Mayfield, and he's got the foam finger. He's got the foam finger in the Toilets and Titles chat for the Panthers. So we're hearing a lot about DJ Moore. And I think a top season's incoming from this cat. What do you guys think about? I think James Conner, he went higher than I've seen him go at 211. That's about value, but I've been seeing him go in like the 3rd or 4th. People are forgetting about him. If he's there in the 4th, to me, that's a huge. I don't know if I'm taking him in the 2nd.
Yeah,
but where he's been going in the 3rd or 4th, I think that's great value.
Yeah, Connor scares me. I don't trust him just based on his history of injury. I don't trust him in not in the 2nd round. I don't. 3rd round, I love the value. I mean, you're talking where he was drafted here in Lavatory 3. It's back into the 2nd round. I guess we're probably just that's just not a big difference there. Me myself, I think I probably would have went with maybe a wide receiver, definitely Deebo Samuel. I think that's just me.
Man, imagine look at the drop off from Nick Chubb, and then it's Fournette and Connor, and I think that's a significant drop off, especially with this buzz about Kareem Hunt. But ultimately, I think the Kareem Hunt thing gets taken care of. I think he stays in Cleveland, and I think he still eats into the workload. But I think Nick Chubb's going to have himself a year, like 1,400, 1,500 yards on the ground.
Yeah, I fully believe in Chubb.
Josh Jacobs just goes. Do you think people are going to start a little worried about Jacobs with Zamir White? If you watch Dynasty Diamonds, Nino was talking about him. That dude's a thumper. I think they're going to rotate backs. I don't know if I want Josh Jacobs as my RB2.
I think he's going to get plenty of work.
So, Coach, can you pull up the draft number 2 that's in the chat? That's in the. I posted in the other chat. That was the one I was sharing. If you pull that one up, that's the only one that's not here.
So I got to go into the Twitter chat, you said?
Yeah, go to the Twitter chat, open up the second draft that I posted, and then that'll open it up, and then you can share that screen with down below, and Jason will be able to pull up that draft, and then we'll have all 3.
Is it the one? It's the one with Nino, right? That you tag Nino in?
Yep.
All right. So now, all right, I have it pulled up, and what I just hit share screen.
Yep, and then you just go over to I believe it's tab, the third option, and then just click on the sleeper page, and then just hit share, and it should pop down at the bottom in the green room area for Jason to click on.
So if you guys are watching at home, this is how the bread's made.
Yeah, this is all the technical stuff that normally is ironed out beforehand.
Did I get it?
You did, and I'm going to add it right now so we can finally take a look at the dirty lavatory number 2.
Yeah, number 2. Don't do number 2 in the lavatory.
Taking a number 2.
Hey, how about Friday night? We got the Frankenstein draft kicking off, man. I cannot wait out there in Canton.
Live from Canton.
We're going to have to do like a mock draft or a real draft lavatory. We're going to have 5 leagues, 5 divisions going off at once. Yeah, I'm excited, man. People making picks live on air.
Up from 3 divisions last year to 5 divisions this year.
Yeah, and we're going to 8 next year.
Yep.
Get in. At least. Someone's freezing up. All right, I'm going to pull this up here. Let's look
Jason,
at this.
you've got the second one pulled up right now, right?
I do have the second one pulled up right now.
So which team so far do you see that you like the best? Because you guys were talking about the 0 RB, and I kind of like T. Fees, the second one there, with Jefferson, Deebo Samuels, Mike Evans, Darren Waller, and then in the 5th round he took J.K. Dobbins.
So for me, I am definitely I really like McCaffrey, Kamara, Pitts, Deontay Johnson, and Cortland Sutton. I think you've got two real high upside wide receivers, a stud of a tight end, and 2 running backs that a couple years ago would have won you a championship.
Yeah. I'm loving One-Eye Joe, who had McCaffrey and Kamara back to back. I'm also like an Acid Prater with Henry and Chubb. And he's got himself Keenan Allen, Justin Herbert. And again,
Joe,
in
what
quarterback draft.
happened? What happened to your other eye, Joe? Not you, Joe. One-eyed Joe. I need tales from the lavatory. We need to find out what happened to One-eyed Joe, his other eye, and maybe next year when you win Frankenstein, 50% of the league fees goes to charity. So maybe we could, if I win, if you tell me a story about your eye, maybe I could donate some money to a charity where people get eyes back that lose their eyes. Yeah.
We can have a charity draft for that. A charity league.
The Vibe Raider, which that's weird. He's got a San Francisco 49ers logo, but it's Vibe Raider. So, that's inappropriate.
But yeah, I'm really digging Acid Praetors draft. I love that Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb back to back. Gets me drooling.
Yeah.
All right, George, I brought you back in.
Appreciate it. I fat fingered and accidentally hit the leave button. So that wasn't an internet issue. That was just a George is an idiot issue.
That's an idiot. That is an issue I know how to handle.
I'll tell you, I like Crew
years, so I hope so.
I like Crew's draft as well. There's a boatload of upside with he took Mixon in the first, Barkley in the second, Mahomes in the third in 1 QB draft, George Kittle in the fourth round, and Amari Cooper, who will be wide receiver 1 over in Cleveland. I'm kind of liking that. I gravitate
every single running back taken after Joe Mixon between the first and the second round will outscore Joe Mixon. Everyone.
Yeah,
Harris,
I like
Swift,
Mixon too.
Jones, Barkley, Chubb, Kamara, they'll all outscore Mixon.
So I would have taken Cook over Mixon. I would have taken Jones over Mixon. I would have taken Swift over Mixon. I would not have taken Harris over him, and I don't know if I'd have taken Barkley.
Barkley's gonna be a top 5 player in all of fantasy this year. Like I said, Waddle's gonna be a top 5 wide receiver. Barkley's gonna be a top 5 player. Barkley looks good. He looks good.
He's a guy I have a lot to, so I hope so. But I'm just I like Joe Mixon. I think that offense is significantly better, and he was an absolute beast last year, and I think he's going to be a beast.
Man, I watched him last year, and I feel like there was a lot of meat left on the bone. Like I started to question his vision a little bit. Like there were times when there were big holes, and he just was cutting it in the wrong direction, and I feel like he could have taken a lot more yardage than he actually got.
Yeah, but his fantasy numbers were solid. They were consistent. His floor was really good.
They upgraded the offensive line this year as well. Like like they went to the Super Bowl and they came back and did nothing but upgrade that offensive line. Which is
who they bring in?
I'll mute.
I know they took La'el Collins, but he's yet to hit the field. That dude's.
I do like our conversation
reliable
about Mixon because Mixon is really. I've seen him on a lot of big boards all over the place. Like a top 4 running back. But I think a lot of us told us the title, so I think we're different. I think many of us are of the mindset that we would have a lot of these other running backs ahead of him, such as Aaron Jones, DeAndre Swift, maybe even Harris possibly. But I hear that more from us than a lot of other fantasy boards out there, the big boards that I'm seeing.
I love seeing Kenneth Walker go off right there, man. That kid's looked good in camp. He looks explosive. What do you guys think about Michael Thomas? He's connecting with Jameis Winston, and he's on the at first he was going to be on the PUP. He's cleared. He's playing. He looks all right, man. He looks decent. Yeah. I know Nino says he looks slow, but I think he looks the same.
I'm loving what I'm getting, the value I'm getting on Michael Thomas. So when you're drafting him, he's not somebody that's going as your wide receiver 1 or 2 like he's done in years past.
Right.
Like you can get him in the 4th and 5th round, and I think that is an absolute steal.
I just got him in the 11th of a dynasty league.
That's awesome. That's great. I love that. That's awesome value.
In a dynasty, I'm not surprised. In a redraft, he's going a lot earlier, or a lot earlier, just because his age. But I absolutely like Michael Thomas this year. I don't think he's ever going to come back to be where many people thought he was the wide receiver 1 in all of fantasy. Like he'll never have that designation again.
Yeah, but he was for one season.
Yeah, Yeah, but he'll never have it again. But
Yeah,
he was,
I'm with you.
Super.
Tony's a steal. There's a steal of the draft. Who took
We'll see.
Tony in the 10th round right there? You got Jalen Waddle. That's my man. So even though we got Mixon, we don't agree on Mixon. This cat's got Nick Chubb, David Montgomery, Jalen Waddle, James Cook, Kadarius Toney.
Schultz.
This guy, that's my team right there.
Ooh,
Dalton Schultz is going to catch 110 balls this year.
He's got my boy Cook out of Buffalo, who I love.
That would be Nate. That's Nate's team.
Of course it's Nate.
Bringing the heat.
Nate listens to the show enough.
Yeah.
I mean, Nate's
but Thomas does scare me. I've been hearing a lot. Well, I've been reading, I should say, a lot of good reports on, and take it always with a grain of salt because he's a rookie, and you always hear positive stuff out of.
Wait, who's a rookie?
Olave. I've been reading a lot of good stuff about Olave and what's his name, the quarterback in New Orleans.
Jameis.
Brain part of Jameis, yeah.
We got a clock out.
Thomas scares me.
What about Pickens? Pickens looks like a dude. Pickens has had some highlight reel catches. I think he's working into mid. If dynasty rookie drafts are going on right now, we'd see him probably in the top 5-6 selections.
Yeah. Oh, looks like Olave was just taken by.
Man.
Listen, I think many of us, if not all of us, were big fans.
Nate, I can't see the names. For some reason, these guys can see the names on my screen. It's all blocked.
I can't see it because there's an error up there, and I don't want to hit back and leave the draft. So, I'm just leaving it. So sorry.
Do you want to pivot to another lavatory?
Yeah. We'll pivot to. We'll go over here.
I'll say, just tell me what the players are, and I'll tell you who the name is.
So Cordell Patterson went 7-4 in this draft and 9-something in the last draft. What are you guys' thoughts on Cordell Patterson?
I like him. I mean, I think this 7th round, I think, is really good value. This guy's got McCaffrey, One-Eyed Joe, man. One-Eyed Joe's got McCaffrey, Kamara, and now he's got Patterson as like his RB3, flex. I like it. I expect big things from Patterson this year. I don't think he'll maybe slide a little bit. They've got wide receiver 1 in their first round pick, but.
So I'm looking at the running backs that are still available in that draft where Patterson went. Like, I think I would have taken Damian Harris over him. I probably would have gone Rashard Penny. I for sure would have gone Chase Edmonds. James Cook and Melvin Gordon are still available. I think I'd have taken all of those guys, honestly, over Cordell Patterson. No,
I love James. I love James Cook.
But I think Patterson went probably 2 rounds early.
Thanks, Derek.
You tell him, Derek.
You got me. Which team is Derek's?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Derek, I know you're watching. What's your team? So we can go look at your team specifically.
And not tell you what we think.
Oh, no, we're going to tell him what we think. Yes, George loves the hugs. I am a hugger. If you did not know that, I am a hugger.
Find out in Canton.
Listen, if you see him at the FF Expo, walk up behind him. Biggest hug you can give.
I'm giving hugs. I'll be hugging George. I told him I would.
But I said come up from behind him.
Oh, okay.
That I don't.
I haven't cussed yet, so I had to say that at least. Let's see. Okay, guys, let's take a look. Let's take a poll here. Who do we like? Who do we like so far here?
I'm One-Eyed Joe. I love my running backs.
Mr. Perfect's doing a decent job. Jonathan Taylor, top 3 running back. Lamar Jackson, probably top 5 fantasy quarterback. AJ Brown is going to get peppered. The Eagles have to pepper him. And I like David Montgomery. He's steady Eddie. Drake London's interesting. That's probably where I'm going right now. What about you?
So George knows I'm a running back early guy, but I've got to say Teefy here with Jefferson, Samuel, Mike Evans, Waller, and then you have Dobbins, if healthy, can be a stud. Kareem Hunt, who's I guess he asked for a trade, so maybe that's not the best move. But Kareem Hunt's always good when he's on the field, and then you follow it up with Kyler. You don't have to go too early on a quarterback to get a good one. I like Teefy's draft, even though I'm a running back early guy.
If I'm Teefy, I'm hoping that Dameon Pierce, I believe he didn't go yet, or Isaiah Spiller, or I think James Cook's not gone. So those are three guys. Tyler Algier, I would want Dameon Pierce first, but if he goes, go ahead. What's that?
You want me to tell you who's still available?
Yes, please.
Devin Singletary, Rashard Penny, Chase Edmonds, James Cook, Melvin Gordon, Ramondre Stevenson, Michael Carter, James Robinson, Isaiah Spiller, Alexander Madison, Damian Pierce, Ronald Jones. You get the point.
I'd go Dameon Pierce. I don't care what the ADP is. I think he's walking away with that job in Houston right now. I know Nino is in this draft, and he'll probably go Marlon Mack to spite me. But I think that and Isaiah Spiller, man. Someone just took Dameon Pierce. So.
That's because we're talking about. I bet you Tiffy's like, you guys need to shut the front door because.
Get Isaiah Spiller. Get Tyler Algier. One of those two.
I'm big on Ramondre Stevenson this year too. But watch, because we've talked about it, that's who's going next. The next couple picks.
He's taking Marlon Mack.
Return to the Mac.
Speaking of Nino,
of all that group, honestly, and you could call me a homer if you want, but I think I would go Chase Edmonds at this point.
Speaking of Nino, I like Rashad Bateman in the 6th round. He's going to be wide receiver 1, Baltimore. I like that. I think that's really good value in the 6th round. And I see that Nino got his boy Jalen Hurts in the 5th round.
Are we worried about J.K. Dobbins?
Yes.
Slightly.
Worried about the Ravens and the 49ers backfield.
Mm-hmm.
You heard it here first. Go get Mike Davis. I don't know if this becomes a podcast, but while I was saying that, I was shaking my head. So if you're listening to this, don't do that. Don't do that at all.
Yeah, no, this stays on YouTube. We got the lavatory. It's not made for audio purposes. The lavatory is like deep down in the dungeon where we're cooking up some stuff. That's got to stay on the interwebs.
I think the word you're looking for is guttural.
Yeah.
So
don't know what that means.
Jason, pull up mock draft number 1, if you don't mind.
Yeah, they're getting pretty far along.
Dang.
So look at Avalanche 034.
What team is that, Joe?
He was drafting for 11. So he started out Travis Kelce, Devontae Adams, Michael Pittman, DJ Moore. And this is set up as a super flex, mind you. Then he went Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, Michael Thomas. Then in the 8th round, he took his first running back. That is a zero RB truther right there. He took Damian Harris, Melvin Gordon, Ramondre Stevenson, Naheem Hines, and Darrell Henderson to round out his running back core.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate this at all. I don't hate this at all.
I like the Khalil Herbert pick. I feel like if he could have swapped out Naheem Hines for Khalil Herbert, I like David Montgomery, but I think he's very similar to David Montgomery. Like they are very similar ball carriers. And if David Montgomery does miss time, Herbert slots right in. Like he's not going to be the 3rd down back. He's going to be the back that's just going to come in when Montgomery gets banged up.
So one thing we didn't mention here is that first overall pick was Christian McCaffrey over Jonathan Taylor.
I mean, PPR.
I don't have a problem with that, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem with that at all.
I think the only real issue I have with it is the injuries over the last couple years. I think McCaffrey has a much higher ceiling than Jonathan Taylor, but I think Jonathan Taylor's floor is absolutely destroys Christian McCaffrey's on any given week. So it really kind of, I think it's dependability versus explosiveness, and not that Jonathan Taylor can't provide that because he was obviously the running back 1, but we haven't seen, aside from Derrick Henry's start last year, we haven't seen anything like we saw out of Christian McCaffrey the couple years before that.
McCaffrey was having a pretty good year last year before he went down.
Yeah, he averaged more points a game than Jonathan Taylor in the games that he started and finished.
Well, I mean, you could say that about.
There was only a handful of those.
Can we see this roster with Brady and Lance?
Yeah.
So we got Jonathan Taylor, Mark Andrews, Higgins, Brady and Lance. I love that. AJ Dillon, love that. I love, Marquise Brown, boom bust play, but Renfro and Burks. I think Renfro and Burks are both going to be volume guys. I've heard Cole Kmet looks like the wide receiver one out there in Chicago. Tyler Algier probably going to take the job in Atlanta. Tolbert, I mean, he's going to fall right into wide receiver too. But I saw some videos of Michael Gallup running, and if you watch the show, if you're subscribed to the channel, I had Kyle Yeomans from DallasCowboys.com on live from Dallas Cowboys training camp, on site. And he was saying, Michael Gallup's moving. He might be there for week 2. So that'll be interesting. We haven't really heard much about him. He's kind of sneaking in. What do you guys think Rashad Penny's of value? Because he's going late. He was 9th in this league, in this draft, I think 10th or 11th in another. And I know Kenneth Walker is getting all the pub. We talked about him earlier. But you think it's Rashad Penny's job for a while, or you think Kenneth Walker is going to steal it out the gate?
I honestly think it's Penny's job to lose, to be honest. I think as long as he remains healthy, I think Rashard Penny will be the RB1 in Seattle.
Yeah. But they're probably going to run a lot.
Yeah, they're going to. Absolutely. I mean, think about it. They have 2 reasons not to throw the ball. Yeah. Drew Lock and Geno Smith.
And the third reason is CJ Stroud. Let's just run our way into a losing season so we could try to get a top pick.
That always works out, though. Remember Tank for Tua?
Yeah. Well, it might work out this year. George is feeling pretty good about it.
I am. Listen, he's finally got an offensive-minded coach, which is huge. I don't care who you are. When your coach doesn't want to teach the offense, and he's a defensive-minded coach trying to teach the offense, it's not a recipe for success. So he's got no excuses. He's got Tyreek Hill, who I don't care what anybody says, he's going to give defensive coordinator fits. And then because they got to plan for both him and Jalen Waddle, that's just nasty. That's not fair. Which is going to open everything up for everybody else. He actually has a competent left tackle. I mean, last year we had the one of the worst lines in NFL history. 31st in pass defense and 32nd in rushing. It was just absolutely atrocious, and we've addressed that somewhat. We're not going to be, top 10 or anything like that, but we might be like the 18th, which going from 32 to 18 is a huge jump as far as offensive line grade.
Significant.
So, and it's an offensive minded coach who actually is doing everything he can to show that he believes in Tua and that they want him here and all this. None of this stuff is stuff that he's had before, and it's affected him. And he's further removed from his injury from his hip. So,
one of my favorite things about watching these mock drafts is when you're drafting and you have your guys, you start to panic at a certain round about said guys and what you think their value is. But when you're not in the drafts, you actually really see how other people's like I'm really high on Kadarius Toney, and I've been taking him in the 7th or 8th because I'm afraid he's going to go. In all of these drafts, I don't think he's gone higher than the 9th. So it's almost like I can wait, but I'm too afraid. I see value, so I take my guy. But it seems like I could probably wait at least 2 rounds before he goes.
I think at some point, and you guys can tell me where it is for you. I think 9th round, 10th round, you stop worrying about ADP, right? And you go get your guys.
Yep.
Earlier in the draft, you can play the game where you think a guy will come back to you and whatever. But late in the draft, that's when everybody's going to get their guys. So Kadarius Toney could go right here, and you were hoping to grab him in the 10th because that's what you've seen.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, can you go up and hit the mute button on your on number 2 there?
Sure. Just give me 1 second.
This way we don't have to hear him cheering and the countdown and all that.
Those jerks.
So the other thing I want to mention is you guys got to know your leagues, right?
Yes.
That's kind of the big one because I screwed myself last year in some work leagues because I'm used to drafting with some people that kind of play in the fantasy industry a good bit, like guys that are here with me now and some of these other leagues that I'm in. And you think, okay, well, nobody's taking a third quarterback or nobody's taking a second tight end and you punt tight end position, and you get to the end, and everybody's got 3 tight ends or 2 tight ends. And sure, I've been picking off all these like great talents, but when I get to the end of that, my tight end it's garbage. Like
Eric Ebron.
Right, exactly right. And you go and you think, well, everybody here has got 2 tight ends. There's nobody in this round going to take tight ends, and 3 of them go off the board. So you got to know who you're drafting with, what situation you're in. That way, I got stuck at the tight end position last year, and my team, I still went to the championship in the league because, because everybody else was taking 3 tight ends, right? Like it's just what happens. But you do have to pay attention to that stuff because you can get stuck with only really bad streaming options if you're not in one of these leagues where people actually like play regularly. So these home leagues.
So which one do we got pulled up right now? Number 2.
Number two.
My favorite, Lavatory number 2. So they were actually commenting that if anybody's listening to this was Sad Cowboys fan, which I feel like there's a lot of those out there. Is the Dolphins breakdown or Tua toilet talk? I love you, Nate.
Nate, you got to be on a show before you could talk smack.
Exactly.
He was on 2 shows last week, and the guy's talking like he could throw his weight around right now. You got to be on more shows so you could bash Tua. 2's not enough.
Hey, you want to hear something spicy? Tua will have more passing yards than Aaron Rodgers. Suck it, Nate. No, I'm just joking. I don't believe that.
Man,
but Sad
Tua's got better wide receivers than Aaron Rodgers. You could say that.
The Jets have better wide receivers than Aaron Rodgers.
Man, the Jets, if Zach Wilson can put together a good season, if he could just be good, which is asking a lot. It's a second-year guy. But their offensive line, I like it. Their wide receivers, I like it. Their tight end depth, I like it. Their running backs, I like it. Like, there's a lot of good stuff around this cat. If he could just be good, man, he could put up some numbers and they could be fun to watch.
So the biggest thing with them, like, they're such a young team. They are, I believe they're one of the top 5 youngest teams in the NFL. So they don't have a whole lot of experience, which is absolutely going to show throughout the season. They're built to have long-term success, as much as that pains me to say as a Dolphins fan, but they're not going to have any type of immediate success right away. They're still going to be the 3rd or the 4th best team in the AFC East, and that's not me trying to poop on them. It's just they're not experienced enough to jump up ahead of New England or Miami or the Bills.
All right, sorry, I'm gonna throw an idea out there. I had a lot to do with Frankenstein. My mind is crazy when it comes to leagues. I just thought of an idea for a league based upon these guys not knowing that this was Superflex. Like, imagine a league where you draft and every round a different rule is announced. So you don't necessarily know, like we could have the wheel, and it could be like wide receivers scoring, and we spin the wheel. In the second round, we know what the wide receivers get, roster settings. So like as you're drafting, all the settings and scoring is being revealed. So by like the 15th round, so like you're guessing, and you may get lucky if you go quarterback early, but you might also kick yourself in the butt if it's one quarterback. That might be something fun we should work in down the pipe.
You call it the Chaos League.
Yeah.
I have no interest in that league.
Come on.
I'll tell you that. Go ahead, George.
Settings in advance. That to me, that's very.
Man, I don't know. That's fun though, because it's fair. Everyone will be on even playing ground.
You could just make it like a $10 buy-in or $25 buy-in or something like that.
It's gambling, bro. If you're gambling, you are absolutely gambling.
Everyone will be in the same boat anyway.
Yeah.
I do want to call out what I think are 2 really nice value picks here in the late part of the draft here. You got Frida Bandito getting George Pickens at round number 11. I like that. And then still round number 11 over to the right. I Am the Walrus. I like Fire.
Cuckoo, Cachoo.
Yeah. I like Fryermuth as his tight end in the 11th round.
So the problem with that is he followed up with Kenny Galladay, who just kind of looks done.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to think about anything with the Giants at all, and I'm a Giants fan, so I can't recommend any of the Giants at all. Saquon, and that's pretty much it. Even Tony, I have no idea, how, if he's going to be on the field. I don't, guy's a head case. I really just don't know.
So we talked about. I want to talk about C2 the Master. I'm assuming that's C2 the Master. So we talked about his start of Chase Hill, Brown, Moore, Gibson. Chase Hill, Brown, and Moore. So let's see what he's done since then with Gibson, Edwards, Hawkinson, Lockett, Stafford, Robinson, Jones, Chark. So to me, and I loved the start with the first 4, but this is where I think like 0 RB early goes wrong. Now, Gibson, I like Gibson as a value in the 5th round. Don't get me wrong. He slides to the 5th round. He was a running back 1, even though he was really frustrating at times. But you've got 2 guys there, Gibson and Edwards-Helaire, probably running back 2s, probably. But, I don't know. I see the ceiling capped on both of those guys. Hawkinson, to me, I'd love if Hawkinson became a thing. I have him in too many dynasties because I was told he was going to be the next big thing. But we just haven't seen it. Yeah. And Robinson and Jones to me are just throwaway guys. If Robinson's healthy, but they're talking about Robinson being healthy on an Achilles that he injured mid-season. Was it mid-season last year? Maybe even after mid-season. And they're talking about he's going to come back. And if modern medicine allows him to come back, good for everybody. But I don't know. This is where I think 0 RB can go wrong. I don't see one guy in there that I think is going to carry. What do you guys think?
So I'm not a huge fan of the Ronald Jones pick. This coming Wednesday, not the Wednesday or Tuesday, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow. Myself and Justin are going to be sitting down with Seth Kaiser from The Athletic. He's a Kansas City beat reporter. He's been at all the Kansas City training camps, and we're going to ask him about Ronald Jones. I don't think Ronald Jones is making that team. I've been on that stance for a while now that he's not making this team. They signed him when they thought Clyde Edwards-Helaire was injured. He's healthy now. They gave him very little money. They're not keeping 5 running backs. Right now he's currently listed as the 4th running back. But it's Clyde Edwards-Helaire, it's Jerick McKinnon, it's the 7th round rookie Isaiah Pacheco, and then it comes down to either Ronald Jones or Derek Gore. And Derek Gore flashed last year, and he knows this system, and he played extremely well last year. So I
drank the Kool-Aid. I drank the Derek Gore Kool-Aid. If you listen to Toilets to Titles, there was a week where I was all about that dude and didn't pan out exactly how I thought. But man, his cuts, he's not the fastest dude, but his vision, his anticipation, and his cuts all line up so well. And he creates, he makes the first guy miss always. I didn't know why he didn't get more touches.
Yeah, he's a good running back. So I'm not drafting any Ronald Jones in any league, mock or otherwise, because it's a wasted spot in my opinion. He's somebody who's not making this team.
Guys, I'm going to cut out, but before I cut out, I want to say one more thing about the Chiefs. And thank you for having me in the lavatory. I'm going to take off my lab coat and my goggles. I'm going to rinse off, and then I'm going to go upstairs. But if you're the Chiefs and Kareem Hunt's available, are you trying to go out and bring Kareem Hunt back to Kansas City? Because if it's me, I am. Andy Reid, you lost Tyreek Hill, Kareem Hunt, I know he wants to get paid, but I don't think it's going to cost too much. You know what he did in that system. I'd be calling. I'd be bringing Kareem Hunt back if I could.
It would be very, very smart. He finished as the RB1 overall his rookie season, I believe, in Kansas City. He absolutely balled out his.
I have a signed magazine, Sports Illustrated, somewhere back here, because I bought it of Kareem Hunt because he helped me win a fantasy championship. I got it signed. I was ready to crown him. It just all fell off. But I'd be bringing him right back to Kansas City stat.
Yeah, but if I'm Cleveland, he's too integral to my team. There's no way I'd be
Money
trading.
talks, Joe. Picks
unless
talk.
the draft pick or unless the compensation's really good.
What would you be willing to give if you're the Chiefs? Pick wise, 3rd? Too much?
Depends on what he's looking for a contract as well.
Yeah, I'd give him maybe somewhere between a third and a fourth. If you're the Browns, you taking that?
Yeah. No.
So there we go. No, wait, no or yeah? You just said yeah.
No.
And then you said no.
If I'm the Chiefs, I'd have no problem offering the third or fourth.
That was a Freudian slip. You spoke as the Browns and you said yeah.
No, I was
would
thinking,
take a fourth.
If I giving the third or fourth as the Chiefs, yes, I'd offer that. But if I'm the Browns, I'm not taking it.
I'm gonna go.
He's too important to them.
I'm gonna let you guys continue to talk about these mocks. Good mocking, everybody. See you Tuesday night.
Take care, Coach.
Jason's muted. You wanted
have a good night, Coach.
You wanted to wish me farewell. I know you did.
I did.
I did. Take care, man. Later.
Coach,
all right.
See you on Friday, Coach.
So I do want to mention Bobby Pigskin's a guy that sounds like he followed us over here.
We love Bobby.
Yeah, I love Bobby. He picked 5th here, and before I even saw that it was Bobby Pigskins, I was going to say I kind of like his draft a lot. Now, I'm not a quarterback early guy, but he got Josh Allen. That's fine. But what he did is he got Eckler and Jones, 2 PPR machines.
Yep.
Followed it up with Josh Allen. George Kittle's going to be a really solid tight end. And then his wide receivers didn't lack all that much. If Godwin's getting healthier like he is, Thielen, Drake London looks so good in practice. Tyler Boyd, Scantling, and Josh Dotson, all upside guys, right? I kind of like what Bobby Pigskins did here.
Where is Bobby Pigskins?
Bobby Skins, he's number 5.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he's the Green Bay logo.
Oh, yeah. I was loving his draft in the beginning. I love him and Rocky Dentist. I love the running backs in first round, second round. Eckler, Aaron Jones. I love it.
So I would love this a lot more if he would have took anybody other than Josh Allen in the 3rd round.
Yeah, that's a good point. But
and anybody else, I don't care. Anybody who came after Josh Allen, if he would he could have drafted Hunter Renfrow in the 3rd round, and I would absolutely love his team the way it ended up, because he ended up with Kirk Cousins in the 13th. And this may be a spicy take, and I believe I had a board bet on this, but I think Kirk Cousins will end this year with more passing yards and touchdowns than Aaron Rodgers.
You and I both had that in our
we had that
NFC North when we did our NFC North breakdown. George, you and I both called that, and I'll die on that hill this year just because the weapons that Rodgers is lacking. Now, I think this is Bobby Pigskins here saying, did we all forget the Kareem Hunt full-blown kick to woman in the chest?
No, we have not. But here's my thing on that. We know what he did, but we're only speaking strictly for fantasy. Kareem Hunt's not a guy I'm going to invite over to my house and have Sunday dinner with. But I will have him on a fantasy team if I want to win.
So I think he was talking more about going back to Kansas City.
Yeah,
and they won't take him back for that. Like he could go to a bunch of other teams. Hell, he's still in Cleveland. They've shown they don't care about off the field stuff.
No, they really don't.
They're really like how the Ravens used to be.
So yeah, I mean Ray Rice fixed that for them.
And you know what? I gotta say, I like the Josh Allen pick by Bobby Skins in the 3rd round. The guy is, he's the best scoring quarterback. He's probably, when I'm looking at what followed, yeah, I like Josh Allen. I'll take him over Pitts and Brown and Breece Hall and McLaurin and yeah.
I mean, my problem is I take Pitts, right? And then I can come back and get Mike Williams, or I could have got so I take Pitts, and then instead of Kittle, I take Mike Williams, and now I have that wide receiver. I still can get Godwin, Thielen, London, and then instead of like Tyler Boyd, I take Aaron Rodgers or Trey Lance or Derek Carr, or like we talked about Kirk Cousins, who's going to score more than Aaron Rodgers. Like, I'd much rather have Pitts than Kittle, and then I'd much rather have Mike Williams, than
That's because we subscribe to the late quarterback theory, though.
And that's why, though, because like, yes, Josh Allen is the best quarterback here, but is he going to get that much more? Is he going to get that many more points than like Lamar Jackson? Because I can tell you, I have Pitts scoring a good amount more than Kittle this year, just based off like mouths to feed at each place. And I have Mike Williams scoring. You know, it's just one of those things where I can get two position players and a quarterback later. Tom Brady was the number 2 quarterback, and he went last year, and he went all the way down in like the 9th round.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm late round quarterback. But all right.
Yeah, I'm just not crazy about the consistency of some of the names that you mentioned before. Well, Thielen I like a lot, but he is a wide receiver too. I mean, he's a high producer. Don't get me wrong. I know Josh Allen is special, and obviously the other great. Lamar Jackson. I'm with you, Jason. I mean, geez, when he was healthy last year, he was the guy was a scoring machine, like he always is. But yeah, Pitts. Yeah, Pitts. I think he's gonna have a big year.
All right, guys. Well, so we only have 2 of the drafts up now because Coach left. So we'll go through 2 of these real quick. We can say who we really like, who we don't. And I can't see in number 1 who team 1, 2, 3, 4.
Tell me what the player is, and I'll tell you whose team it is.
5. Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry. Okay, so that's SM. I'm assuming it's SM Johnson.
So the only issue I have with this whole draft is the fact that they found out late it was Superflex. So we've got real weird quarterback stuff happening. But once they found out,
it's really not that weird though if you think about it.
Well, not having a quarterback go in the first round is weird, and then not having Justin Herbert go pretty soon after Josh Allen is weird.
Well, the guy that drafted Josh Allen also took Justin Herbert.
I know, that's why I like his team, because he's got Josh Allen and Herbert. That's 1 and 2 for me this year, and for most everybody else. I not tooting my own horn, but with that he got 2 of the top, let's say top 3, 2 of the top 3 quarterbacks. So Derrick Henry, Connor. Then he got Deontay Johnson, Godwin, who could be a steal here based on health. Cooks, who's always incredible. You got Bateman, who is one of the only guys that not named Mark Andrews in town. And then to come back with Rashard Penny.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna struggle at tight end, but I mean, it's still like I would rather take dart throws at tight end where there's only like a small handful of guys that are guaranteed and be loaded everywhere else, which he is.
And he even got Winston in the last round too.
Yeah. Which Winston's a quarterback I'm high on. Like I absolutely love Jameis Winston this year. I think, they brought in Jarvis Landry. Michael Thomas is back. They drafted Chris Olave. Like they gave him weapons.
Yeah. Kamara is not going to be suspended.
What's that?
Kamara is not going to be suspended, right? So there you go.
As of right now, it looks like it's tracking that it might even be into next year before he gets suspended. And even if he does, like they have competent backups in there. You got not Mark Andrews. Damn, what's the name of the running back that he was there, and Mark Ingram. That's it. They got Mark Ingram as the backup there, so he's a competent backup running back.
Right. So I think what messed a lot of these people up is so this was a super flex draft.
Yes, this was super flex. And
I guess we were telling people in the beginning that it wasn't. So I think maybe the only person who really caught on possibly was Bobby Skins. Is it going to be super flex going forward the rest of the weeks?
I'm trying to mix in super flex and one quarterback. But what was frustrating about this is like when you're drafting, when you pull up the go to the players, it tells you 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and then it says super flex.
The problem is we can't see that. So the problem is we can't see that. So we've got to, like, next time we'll have you tell us.
Well, yeah, we couldn't but the people in the draft that were actually drafting could.
So I'm going to share a different screen because they want us to do Lavatory number 2. By the way,
Yep.
Coach, I think Coach thinks we're saying laboratory. He's talking about taking off his coat and his
Yeah,
speaker,
right.
and I don't think he thinks we're actually talking about bathroom talk.
Yeah, it's lavatory with a V.
Yeah,
V as in
lavatory.
Victor.
So I'm working on getting number 2 up since Coach left. Okay, so we should. Let's see. I'll make sure it's actually shared. Boom. Okay, 2 is up, guys. Let's tell me what you think about your number 2.
All right, let me take a quick look at it. So I can tell you right now, I'm not a big fan of the quarterback in the first round. I'm not a big fan of quarterbacks really in the first 4 rounds. So I'll start with there. I keep going back to Tiffy's team. I absolutely love what he did. Starting out Jefferson, Samuels, Evans, Waller, Dobbins, Hunt, Kyler Murray in the 7th, Devin Singletary, Melvin Gordon, and Michael Carter. Then he's got Chase Claypool, Devontae Parker, and Dodson to round it out. I like that.
I think Devontae Parker's a great steal in the 12th round.
Another team I like, man, I like Acid Prater. That was the one that started with Henry Chubb, Keenan Allen. Not a huge fan of Justin Herbert earlier, especially because he took Trey Lance in the 10th. Like, I would rather just him gone with Trey Lance as his quarterback, but I'm not going to argue with Herbert in the 4th. That's later than the other 2 quarterbacks went. St. Brown, Gabe Davis, Sanders and Penny, Lazard, Lance, Alberto, Henderson, and Jacoby Myers. Like, I think that's a really solid team. Jason, you're muted. Jason, hit the mute button. There you go.
So let me ask you guys, because it's a mental thing for me. I don't want to take Travis Kelce in the 1st, but if I'm at 12 and I can take Swift in the 1st and Kelce in the 2nd, for some reason, even though it's the same 2 players, it just makes me feel better.
Yeah, I don't mind. I like to grab my tight ends a little early. My favorite tight end, as everybody, I've been very open about it, is Dalton Schultz. He went in the 7th round in this draft to Sad Cowboys, which I absolutely love. Although he already had Mark Andrews, so I don't know why he double tapped the tight end that early. But I will wait. If I can get Dalton Schultz in the 5th or the 6th round, I'll absolutely smash that every single time.
Yeah, so I like the Cup pick there. The only issue I really have is, he picked Cup and then he went Mark Andrews. His first running backs, Fournette, and I guess Gibson's okay, but I don't know. You got Ken Walker there in the 6th and then Schultz in the 7th. So, your 3rd wide receivers, Renfro, your 2nd running backs, Gibson. It's an okay team, but you give up a lot when you go with somebody like Mark Andrews in the 2nd.
I think you have to believe that Ken Walker is going to be the RB in Seattle. That's the only way I could justify that. And I mean, right now everything is tracking towards Rashard Penny, and he took Ken Walker in the 6th, and Rashard Penny went in the 8th.
That's happening you can't blame him. The ADP is that way. Like, Penny is going much later than Ken Walker. And it's odd because, like, the expert opinion has Penny ahead of Ken Walker, but when you watch these mock drafts, it's a constant thing where Ken Walker is going first. So it's going to be interesting to see if fans know better than experts. Maybe it's just rookie fever, and everybody wants the rookie. But
it could be, but you have to remember where he's playing. He's playing up there for Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll has a very long history of not starting his rookies. I mean, Rashard Penny was drafted in the first round, and he didn't get the start right away. He's going to play the best player available, and I think right now it's Rashard Penny. It's not Ken Walker.
What I think it is, and if somebody's out there still watching and wants to tell us, I think it's probably injuries, man. Like, everybody thinks that it's going to be Penny's backfield until he gets hurt. And if history tells us anything, that's going to be game 3 or 4. And I don't necessarily buy into that. It's not like he's been a picture of health, but we've seen lots of guys not be a picture of health, and then all of a sudden they're okay, have a full season. James Conner last year had a full season. Nobody thought he was going to be healthy all year.
Yep. It's almost as if these guys play physical sports. Go ahead, Jeff.
George or Jason, can one of you guys, whoever's controlling it, can you scroll to the top? I want to see the team names.
Okay, hang on one second.
Yeah, I think I know the two drafts I like the most.
Oh, I can't get the team names. It's giving me that error again.
Okay. Well, let's see. I guess team 1, 2, 3.
Tell me the play.
I guess. Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess it's slot 4 and 5. McCaffrey and Henry. Yeah. I like those two drafts the most. I love the stud running backs. I got Kyle Pitts in the 3rd round. I think serious potential stud tight end who's going to take off in the 2nd year. You got Keenan Allen. He's got a legit wide receiver 1 in the 3rd round. I got no problem with Justin Herbert in the 4th round. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to have a big year. I think, who's was it Jameson Williams, the wide receiver they took in the 1st round, Detroit? Yeah. I think he's eventually going to be their wide receiver 1, but I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is pretty much going to fill that hole this year. The pivot over to the left, Cortland Sutton. He's got Russell Wilson thrown to him. I like those two drafts. These guys both got, stud running backs in their first two rounds, and then later on, I like the picks that follow that.
So the guy that took McCaffrey and Kamara, that guy's name is One-Eyed Joe.
So that is One-Eyed Joe. Yep.
And then Acid Prater is the one who took Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb. I like One-Eyed Joe. I like that team. I like it. I think he did a very solid job at his draft. I'm not an Amon-Ra St. Brown guy. I think DJ Chark is actually going to be the wide receiver 1 there, not Amon-Ra. And that's the way he's been bearing out in practice as well. Like, Chark has looked absolutely fantastic. And I'm not a Gabe Davis guy, so I'm a little bit lower on this draft than him. Like, I would have taken Metcalf, Amari Cooper, Mike Williams, Brandon Cooks, Allen Robinson, Michael Thomas, and Darryl Mooney. I would have taken every single one of them over.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have taken Cooper. Metcalf kind of scares me in that Seattle situation. But yeah, One-Eyed Joe, he got Deontay Johnson. I think it's great. Cortland Sutton, as long as he's healthy, I'm a big Sutton fan. I think, I like it a lot.
Jason, any team on number 2 that sticks out to you?
I'm taking a look. We talked about it a bit. I liked team number 2. I like Jefferson. I like Samuel. I like Mike Evans. I like Waller. I like Dobbins, Kareem Hunt, Kyler Murray. Singletary in the 8th round is okay for me. Starting running back. And then you come back and get Melvin Gordon, a very good complementary piece. And then we talked about earlier, you got Claypool, Devontae Parker, and Dotson to round out the draft is like 3 really high-end guys. Now, if these guys don't pan out this year, if they're at the end of your draft, but that's like, those are home run kind of guys.
Those are nice.
You're trying to take a home run. So, I love his wide receivers. He's got solid running backs considering he didn't take one until the 5th round.
Yeah, scroll down again. Scroll down again to the bottom.
This is it.
I like Claypool. I love Devontae Parker that late. And Jahan Dotson is one of my favorite wide receivers out of this class. The guy's a vacuum. He catches everything. I think Washington's going to be better than people may think. I know they're kind of under the radar against the Cowboys and the Eagles, but I love Jahan Dotson.
Another team that I like on here is the guy that drafted out of the 9 spot, Bryce Hoff, 42. Started with Dalvin Cook, Stephon Diggs, James Conner, Cam Akers. If those 2 guys can remain healthy, this team is fantastic. Mike Williams, Darryl Mooney, Russell Wilson, Devonta Smith, Christian Kirk, Pat Fryermuth, Tyler Algier. And then I love the fact he went back-to-back with Michael Gallup and Tolbert. This way, if Michael Gallup is not ready to start the season, Tolbert will be – is the rookie that will be starting in his place. And then when he comes back, he's getting a top 24 wide receiver at the 12-4 pick. I love what he was able to do with this team.
Look one column over to the left. Your boy DJ Shark.
Yep. At 13-8. Yeah, it's I'm not an Amon-Ra St. Brown guy. Like what he did last year was the last 6 games was absolutely amazing, but we've seen absolutely nothing from him the first 11, and then he didn't show up until literally everybody on the team was injured. And now you bring everybody back healthy. They did draft a rookie wide receiver, Jameson Williams. We're not expecting him to be ready to start the season. That's fine. But then they brought in more competition in DJ Chark.
I'm going to stay high on St. Brown. I think that he's a rookie, and you're not always going to come out of the gates, and sometimes it takes injuries for it to happen. But I'm definitely not gonna. I'm really high on how we ended the season. I really
so I'm gonna just being devil's. I'll play the middle ground here. Like, do I think he's gonna be the league winner he was at the end of last season? I don't. I think with Swift on the field, with Hawkinson on the field, and adding weapons on the outside, it doesn't have to all be him. But Joe, you made a really great point. He's a rookie, and wide receivers can take a little bit longer, and sometimes it takes until the 5th game, like it did Justin Jefferson 2 years ago, and sometimes it takes till the end of the season, like it did last year with Amon St. Brown. What we have seen is that he has the talent to do it. Now, the situation may not be as good, but also, a couple games into that stretch, everybody knew he was the only guy, and he was still doing it on the Detroit Lions with Jared Goff. Like, I think there is potential for him to be a good player. I think the problem is where people are taking him. He has to hit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right. And I really don't see long term him being a wide receiver 1. I think he'd be an ideal, a super duper wide receiver 2 for Detroit. Especially if Jameson Williams, was it Williams or Williamson? I forgot. If he pans out as a wide receiver 1, I think Amon-Ra will be a great wide receiver 2. I do think that's a little early for him, but not a little. It is early for Amon-Ra St. Brown. You're right about that. But
it's where
I definitely have him on my radar. I like him a lot.
It's near his ADP. It's not like it's early per what other people are doing. It's just.
Is it really?
Yeah, his ADP.
1.5.
The other 2 drafts, he went in the 7th round, which I like a lot better.
Yeah. Okay, I got you.
Because people are expecting him to be a top 24 wide receiver. He's not. He's barely going to be a top 36 wide receiver, in my opinion. I think he's a wide receiver 3, and people are drafting him as if he's going to be a wide receiver 2 with the upside of wide receiver 1, and I just don't believe.
And that is actually how I see him. I see him as a wide receiver 2 with the upside of wide receiver 1, but still, I would be scared off, drafting in the middle of the 5th round.
Yeah.
So, guys, can you tell me, did Julio Jones go in any of these drafts?
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, not that I've noticed, but my eye has definitely not been looking for Julio Jones.
In draft lavatory number 1, Julio Jones went at 13-8.
Okay.
Number 2. I'm not seeing him drafted. Nope, he didn't. Oh, hold on. That's because I put Joe and not Jones. That's Ronald. I bet you the other one's Daniel because it's cool. Nope, Aaron. So he didn't go in number 2, which actually kind of disappoints me. He didn't do number 2.
Okay.
Number 3, he went at 11.2.
Wow, he went early.
He did. He went ahead of George Pickens. Here's the wide receivers that went after Julio. George Pickens, Marcus Valdez-Scantling, Rondell Moore, Kenny Golladay, Devontae Parker, Jarvis Landry, Williams, who we talked about, DJ Chark, Dodson, Jacoby Myers, Nico Collins, Palmer, Hardman, Watson. You get the point.
Yeah.
He went before all of them. So he went the earliest in number 3.
I have to say there is a player I want to call out here in Lavatory number 2, who I do think is going to dramatically increase in fantasy relevance this year. I was really high on him last year, and I think he's going to, given the RB situation in Philadelphia with Miles Sanders, I'm really high on Kenneth Gainwell, who went in the 12th round over here, 12.7.
Yep.
I'm not saying he's not necessarily going to be RB1, but I think he's going to be getting fantasy points with a nice floor.
So this team is not bad. Eckler, Lamb, Javonte Williams. I like seeing Javonte Williams fall to the 3rd round. I wish he would fall one more round. It is my mission in this offseason to push Javonte Williams down to the 4th round draft MVP. But he went in the 3rd round here. DJ Moore, Jalen Hurts, Bateman, Goddard, Chase Edmonds, Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, the Tampa running back White, Kenneth Gainwell, and Austin Hooper.
I love the upside in that wide receiving core.
I want to like this team, except for the simple fact that this is Nino's team. So I am contractually obligated not to like this team.
He's going for all those dynasty diamonds.
He's got all the diamonds on his team. I really do like his team, and he's got the triple stack. With
guys,
Hurts, Dallas Goedert, and Kenneth Gainwell.
I think we've talked about these a good bunch. Do you guys have any last minute?
Nino is definitely, I know he's a Patriots fan, but I think I said this on last night's show. I think the Eagles are his favorite NFC team. He's always talking about the Eagles.
He'll never admit it, but he's a huge Eagles fan. But Jason, to answer your question, yes. I do love hugs, by the way. I just want to let you know that. But these last 2 weeks we've done this have been an absolute blast. Jason, myself, Joe, and Coach, who was with us earlier, we are all going to the Fantasy Football Expo in Canton. Joe, can't wait to finally meet you.
It's going to be awesome.
So it's going to be fantastic. So we will not be hosting this show next week. Jason and I are driving up there from Florida, and so we are coming back Monday morning. We're driving back. It's roughly a 13 to 14-hour drive, and then you're talking stops for food and bathroom breaks, and us two guys can't be contained in one vehicle for too long. It's not fair to the rest of the world. Between our good looks and our comedic humor, we just we have to get out and share that with the world. So we won't be doing this show next Monday, but we will be back the following Monday and every Monday after that, leading up to the start of the NFL season.
All right,
guys. Well, like I said before, you can go to our Patreon. Coach talked it up at the beginning of the show.
Yep.
What you get Discord channel, you get the waiver wire show, $20 a month to get you into the Frankenstein next year. So do that. If you want, you can follow me on Twitter at BFTGJason. It looks like, Joe, are you at JoJ_Clark on Twitter?
That is it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Middle name is J_.
And then George, you got George Reed FF on Twitter. You can follow us there. Of course, you can follow Toys for Titles, YouTube, which you're probably watching us here. We've got podcasts on any podcast platform you want to find us. And again, toiletstitles.com, we have all kinds of articles from the porn name man himself, Mr. Chuck Steele. So
the 70s porn name.
Follow us throughout the season. That way you can go from the toilet to the title. And I was your host, Jason. Thanks, guys. And we will see you
in 2 weeks.